Boy, I didn't think I went to
Pursuant to
town.
MGL C30A 20F, after notifying the chair of the public body, any person may record or transmit this open meeting. This hybrid meeting is being recorded by the town of Stockbridge. The names of members participating remotely will be announced. Any member of the public wishing to speak must first receive permission from the chair. The agenda items listed are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, but not all may be discussed, and other topics not listed may be brought up for discussion by the public body as permitted by law.
What is Read AI meeting notes?
We need to know who the folks are who are on Zoom. We have
We can't read.
an unknown.
It's Harold and Colton, Nomi Colton Max from the upper right.
Oh, there's,
Fine.
okay. And the folks just below them? Harold?
Harold and Nomi Colton Max in the upper right. I'm not sure the others.
Thank you.
If you can hear us, could you identify yourselves, please?
Hello, my name is Nick Vallis.
Okay.
All right, I know where you are.
Hi, folks. Eric Reardon with the Housatonic Valley Association.
Thank you, Eric.
And Chuck Horror.
We know you.
I think for what it's worth, what these AI notes are is somebody put it up and it transcribes everything we do and it puts it into a nice, essentially a memo for people to retain.
Unofficial minutes.
Unofficial minutes and
Yeah,
with
unofficial.
questionable accuracy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But who is-
Updates aren't
Yeah.
accurate.
Who is the other person?
Tom Lewis.
No, we got Tom.
I'm here.
Who was that? No, I know Tom. Tom's with,
That's
with,
everybody.
with,
It's just
Railroad.
underneath the upper one, Sally.
oh, is that
Everybody else.
them?
Yeah, everybody else.
Oh, okay, all right.
So where do those minutes go, Chuck?
Whoever put it up there will have they will have a document at the end. And they're actually really slick. It's amazing how good they are when you use them. I use them for work from time to time.
Okay.
It's not going to happen.
Well,
Because the AI does not know what we consider important. They just report.
that's true. It's it transcribes the conversation as it understands it.
Yeah, but it's different.
Okay, we need to approve the minutes of January or June 20, no, it's June 9th. Anybody have any corrections, changes?
I did not get a chance to read them. Can we wait one meeting? Or if everybody else read them and approved them, you can, but I can't vote on them. I didn't get a chance to read them.
Sure.
All right with me.
We're going to hold off on approval of those till the next meeting.
Thank you.
Informal. Brent. 15 Mackinac Road.
Good evening, Commissioners. For your record, my name is Brent White from White Engineering in Pittsfield. Joining me this evening is architect Brian Bordenero and my clients Harold and Nomi Colton Max, who are on Zoom this evening.
Brian, would you spell your first, well, actually, how do you spell your first name?
B-R-I-A-N.
Okay, last name?
Bordenero, B-O-R-D-O-N-A-R.
Okay, because we have a Brian B-R-Y, so gotta ask.
The subject property is 15 Mackinac Road on the east side of Stockbridge Bowl. For your reference, for the far right is Mackinac Road. We have an existing paved drive that comes down to a existing single-family home with a deck and porch. We have an existing guest house, an existing shed, and then along the waterfront, there's actually an existing boathouse that has a concrete foundation and a couple of piers supporting the boathouse out into Stockbridge Bowl. The Colton Max family has owned this property for a number of decades. The family has grown and they found that their need to be able to accommodate all family on property once has led for a number of needs to increase habitable space on the property here. Ultimately, we have 4 specific building items that we wish to pursue. And our goal this evening is to have an informal discussion with you all to understand any questions or concerns that you may have. Obviously, we spent just over 2 years studying the zoning bylaw, understanding, speaking with the family, different ideas of what they may or may not wish to see out of use of the property. And that exercise has brought us to this evening, and our goal would be taking your feedback tonight, eventually develop a formal set of site plans and come before with a notice of intent moving forward.
How big is the property?
Property itself is 0.759 acres.
0.75.
Correct.
0.75.
0.75, yes. So we are we're in the R2 zone, and with respect to zoning, ultimately this project would require an order of conditions, a lake and pond overlay district special permit, as well as a special permit from the select board for modifying a pre-existing nonconformity. So this is the very first step in a long process to obtain all the required approvals to move forward. We'll start at the lake and work our way back into the property. The first element is the existing boathouse here. We've submitted some photos. It's really fallen into a condition of disrepair. The concrete's crumbling, cracking. The wood framing of the boathouse is in seriously poor condition. Our desire would be to demolish the boathouse, and we actually met with a contractor 3 weeks ago who actually had the ability to essentially remove by hand both the concrete and the wood frame here. They had set up a little conveyor belt here and be able to shut all the material to get it off site of the property here and hand dig a new foundation poured concrete down at the waterfront. This company specializes in very tight spaces for one of the examples they showed us on site was a historical church that had a masonry foundation where they hand dug a new elevator shaft to be poured here. So we feel very confident that we have someone on our team that could actually execute a permit to, again, kind of by hand methods, rebuild this boathouse. And our desire would be to, from where the boathouse extends into the water now, maintaining the same footprint, we would actually shift this back into the hillside and use steel beams to build up the boathouse so that if it cantilever or not require piers like you see here. Our desire would be to design this in a way where we would not require a pier at the very end to support the structure itself.
How do you keep the water out of there?
It's understood that this would have to occur during drawdown period.
Okay.
There isn't a.
There isn't one.
No more drawdown at all.
No, not unless they're working on the dam. So this year, theoretically, there's not going to be a drawdown. Next year, there might be.
I know Anoda and Hatsuzik have struggled with having up to 6 foot drawdowns now to basically lucky to have 2. In that case, in our application, we would propose dewatering with cofferdams to provide a dry work area here with erosion controls to contain that here. So that's.
Yeah, we haven't done a drawdown in 5, 6 years, maybe.
I don't know. I knew it was limited, but I didn't realize there was no drawdown at all.
Yeah. The DEP or Natural Heritage decided that, and we have seen definite benefits, that the damage to the freshwater mussels and their ability to filter out stuff has changed the lake to be much clearer. So because they couldn't grow to be a good size, so they don't let people do that anymore.
There was a dam issue last year, so they drew it down.
Okay.
Whether they repair the issue or not, that depends on.
If anything here, then proposing dewatering actually provides less limitations on when the work could occur, so long as we have proper dewatering in place. So that might actually be to our benefit. The second element is an addition on I'll call it the backside of the existing single family home. The challenge that we have here is along the northern boundary of the property. If you follow this, we've identified a bordering vegetated wetland. This property actually received an order of conditions and certificate of compliance approximately 20 years ago, and there was no wetland resources identified on this north side. However, I think a lack of maintenance of some yard drainage, et cetera, here has led to the establishment of a bordering vegetated wetland.
It's a wetter world.
Yeah. We are certainly having more runoff and more intense runoff when we do.
So what's the distance to the BVW?
So currently the existing home, our existing setback, our closest setback is 29.51 feet. And where we're proposing the addition here would be 42.42. So no closer than any portion of the existing home here, but it would be additional footprint within that 50-foot setback.
Okay, and you looked at our bylaw?
I've looked at your bylaw, and I think your bylaw has some, in terms of what constitutes new construction. That's why we're having this discussion tonight here, because this and the the next element here, I think, are really, testing the left and right limits of how this commission views what is deemed as new construction versus improvements to existing conditions on site. I would suggest the fact that we're maintaining or farther from the wetland than the existing structure here that the commission could find that it's reasonable to issue an order of conditions, assuming we do buffer plantings, proper stormwater management, everything else that the commission would typically look for in an application. The third element of this is we do have an existing, referred to as a guest house here that's on a concrete foundation right now that does have living space above that. And our goal is to leave the existing foundation in place, raise the structure, and pour on top of the existing foundation to create a second level of just, again, more habitable space on site. So really no change in our lot coverage or setback issues here. But again, the concrete work, we wanted to be clear that that's something that would ultimately require the commission's approval. And the fourth element here is with regards to an existing shed that is on the property. Currently, that is less than 15 feet from the bordering vegetated wetland at its closest point, 14.60 feet. Currently, there's very limited parking on site to begin with, as well as no covered vehicle storage. So one of the elements that we would propose to do is to demolish the existing shed and pull a proposed garage that would have living space associated with that, essentially a single car garage bay on the ground level with some storage space and that is stairs leading to habitable space on the second story. And our goal would be to pull that to be at its closest point, 19 feet from the wetlands here. So we'd go from 14.6 to 19 feet. We could make an argument and say, oh, well, we're going to build an addition on the shed. The shed doesn't have a foundation. That's not being reasonable here. But understanding what our desire is for the additional storage space on site, vehicular storage, and more habitable space here, our goal, this would be an improvement from the existing shed. We're happy to consider relocating the propane tank. As you can tell with what we have for a footprint here, we've got a sewage pump generator. We have a number of mechanical systems that would all be impacted by the overall scope of work here. But again, if the commission were concerned about the proximity of that propane tank to the wetlands, this is an opportunity for us to look at relocating that further from the wetland itself.
And that's the same footprint?
So the garage would be a larger footprint than the existing shed. The existing shed is just under 100 square feet, and what we're proposing would be 432.
So that's going to be a problem. I'll tell you, given how close it is to the BVW. I mean, our bylaw says nothing within 50 feet. So if it's 15 feet and you want to make it 300 square feet bigger, if you're looking for feedback, that's a big negative for me.
The benefit of this is we have a number of things that we can do as improvements to the property here of maintain lawn to convert to more vegetated natural areas, doing so not only within the first layer of the Lake and Pond Overlay District, but even upland areas here adjacent to wetlands that are overgrown lawn now that we plant more mature trees.
But when you lose buffer, it's lost and it serves a purpose. So I can't speak for the whole commission, but that's my feedback on that.
No, and we certainly understand the 50-foot setback is there. That's what we didn't want to go through a full set of plans and notice of intent only to say.
Right.
Yeah, probably not. So you already have, if I'm following you already have an additional living space, and you're asking for an additional living space in addition to the two that you already have. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So is there some reason why you can't consolidate?
In this case here, we were trying to look at the layout of the property, the topography, what we have for existing buildings. I think in terms of the main house, based on the layout of the existing house here, it would be more challenging to accomplish the entire goals of the project with just a single addition to the single family home. In this case here, the idea of the freestanding garage, one, it gets us, it's less footprint within the Lake and Pond Overlay District. It gets further from Stockbridge Bowl. It works well to provide vehicular storage in an area that's already kind of a gravel parking area here. So in terms of what is gained or lost here, I think if you were to do a net summary of what you have between the shed as well as the parking area here, I think it's less of a loss than you would be anticipating.
Yeah. But we put that nothing in within 50 feet in for a reason, and we really do try to stick to it. And everybody that comes to us that wants to change it has a good reason.
You've already changed the addition on the house.
Yeah.
Being closer. Not only garage or whatever. I call it.
Buffer serves a purpose.
And I would say we also, we do have a wetland on the opposite side of this driveway here that we are maintaining the 50-foot setback from that.
Great.
So again, in this case here, my understanding, my interpretation was I'm taking an existing shed, I'm taking an existing parking area here, and I'm going to consolidate to a certain degree the parking as well as the storage, provide more efficient storage space laid out as Brian has here versus what is currently within this shed. Again, in terms of creating buffer here, I would also say we're actually providing more buffer in this location based on this proposal. And there's a number of areas of mulch and lawn that, again, we'd be happy to expand to provide a more natural buffer than currently exists today here, as well as down right at the waterfront here. I think there's opportunities for more mature. Thankfully, we have a very well-vegetated bank. So everything that we're talking about doing for the boathouse here, we're not looking at having to create an access road or I know we've met that challenge on other projects here, but in this case, we've got an ability to avoid that completely.
So you're talking about having 4 buildings, am I correct, on a 0.7 acre lot?
3/4 of.
Yes, we are. And I'll tell you, we are within 0.1% of what our maximum lot coverage would be allowed by zoning, which again is there as a protection to, based on the size of your lot, cover or control the limits of development. So we would be within those limits.
But our jurisdiction is different.
Just explaining that under the zoning here, what is allowed, what is not allowed, that we're just about there.
So you can't really move. Well, let me try to east or west. Would that be or north and south? Give me a north up in the top.
North to the top of the sheet. Are you suggesting could we make this building longer and narrower?
Yeah, I'm looking at your options there, and you don't have room. You don't have wiggle room.
The challenge that we have, and we've talked about this internally. Again, this dimension allows for a vehicle to actually be parked and fit in the garage itself here at the 24 feet. That's what's driving this dimension right here. Could we look at possibly reducing this length and making it longer here? We could. The challenges we have are obviously our topography starts to drop off more. We also have a number of mature trees here with very expansive branch systems and root network that we're really hoping to avoid any excavation work within that. I think a chance to visit the property, we'd be able to show you what our current limitations are here, what we're trying to preserve with this. Obviously, we have trees that would come down, and we've committed to the typical itemization of, depending on the diameter of each tree that's removed, what we would replace it with in kind. But I think ultimately when you look at this area here we have of the property, this existing mulch area that could certainly have more natural vegetation within it. At the end of the day, I could come up with a site plan that actually shows a conversion of more maintained lawn areas to natural buffer than increase in roof area that we have between the proposed addition and the new single family or the new freestanding structure, pardon me.
Can you figure out how to park the car under a building? I mean, it's done.
Park a car.
Make it like
this building
like
here.
a carport type thing.
Under the building. So you'd have stairs to go upstairs, but
That's what we would have. So it would essentially be a garage space on the ground level, and then the second story would have the bedroom space.
It's still 300 square feet more.
It's still 300 square feet more than, 19 feet of the BVW.
I guess the biggest question I'm asking is ultimately, if we look at areas that are maintained lawn that are not within the bordering vegetated wetland now, and those were converted, deed restricted to areas that would be no disturb, does that factor into your calculus in terms of the impact to buffer?
no, because it's new construction within 50 feet, and that's been a benchmark for us.
Yeah, it's not the same footprint anymore.
Because you're already, I'm given a little leeway on adding to the main house, even though that's closer than 50 feet, but I don't want to do another 300 square feet.
Well, this is informal, so you're catching
Yeah.
our concerns.
Yes, for our concerns.
No, and I think ultimately, I don't want to speak for Brian here, but I think ultimately our goal is to understand, again, if trying to obtain the additional square footage in this location or this configuration is going to be problematic, part of our charge will be revisiting the programming of what this addition looks like here on the main house to get the space that they need.
Okay, but if you're going to add 300 square feet to the main house, and that's that close to the buffer, it'll be the same issue. I mean, 300 square feet loss of buffer is a big deal. So if you do it in a different place, it's still gonna, for me, it's still gonna be the same issue. That's what, 42 feet away, so it's still within 50 feet.
Sure, no, unfortunately, when you take 50 feet and 50 feet and overlap, we have all these narrow lots that were developed well before that wetland bylaw was ever developed here. And again, working with topography, trying to respect the Lake and Pond overlay district and get everything kind of as far away, placing buildings as close to proximity to where you have existing driveway networks already.
And trying to protect the wetlands.
Certainly, sure, no, that's.
It's complicated.
If it were a matter of constructing, you talk about buffer, rather than talking about an enhanced buffer, what if we were to do an actual wetland replication equivalent to increase in square footage?
All right, did you read our bylaw?
I've read your bylaw.
Because what we say specifically in there is it just doesn't work. People do that and it just, we have something in there for monetary. You know, people can pay for the loss of buffer, but on this project, I personally wouldn't consider it.
You're like the percentage point away from your limitation for.
Under zoning, correct, yes.
But mitigation, the science on mitigation is just not good.
The good news is you have the ability to hold an order of conditions outstanding until you're satisfied with the status of the replication as well, which is an encumbrance on the deed.
Yeah, but it still doesn't.
But people don't get the
Yeah.
certificate of compliance, so they can basically do anything they want and they can come back 40 years later and say, oops.
At least 10 years.
So, that the order of conditions from our perspective is not as good a hammer as it should be.
And mitigation just is not.
I mean, it's required under the order of conditions that after 3 years, then the project is complete, they're required to get an order of conditions, but I would bet you that half of them or less actually get one. So we have that hammer is not available to us really, realistically. I know you would like it to be, but it isn't.
Good evening, commissioners. May I be heard? My name is Harold Colton Max, a prospective applicant. Is it okay if I ask a question or two? Or Brent, do you have more to say? Or Brian, do you have more to say before I might ask a
We
question?
will listen to your questions.
Please, go right ahead.
Okay.
We may not discuss it because this is informal, but we will listen.
Fair enough. Thank you very much for your consideration. So I'm just trying to understand as it relates to the proposed garage. So are we able, let's say, just to rebuild the shed as it is in that location?
Yes.
In the existing footprint.
Right.
Yes.
So we're allowed to do that. And the driveway is covered area, covered in gravel. Is that, remind me, Brent, is that a part of the impervious coverage?
The gravel driveway will not count as a part of our lot coverage as it relates to structures. That's one of the discussions I was having, though, is that by the placement of the garage, honestly, we'd like to have it over more of the gravel, but we have the 50-foot setback to the wetlands across the driveway off of your property. So we've tried to respect the setback that's currently honored by not creating a new nonconformity. If I were to use the zoning term, we have a pre-existing nonconformity with the existing shed. What we're proposing to do would actually have the structure further from the wetland than exists currently. Yes, it would be more.
And that's sort of the nature of my question, or the question I'm sort of getting to. If we are improving an existing nonconformity, of course it's clearly still a nonconformity. I'm trying to understand, you're saying the buffer, the distance, the buffer is the issue, but aren't we further buffering it by, if we were to proceed with getting rid of the existing shed and adding that a new house? I mean, I understand it's larger, but considering that that area is already covered for the most part with gravel and driveway, I'm just wondering whether or not that comes into play.
So your question is, if you get rid of the shed
Yes.
and make the existing house bigger? Would that-
Not the existing house. We're talking about the garage, the proposed garage, which would be further away from the wetlands. It would increase the buffer area. So that's why I'm saying this. I happen to serve as a planning board, a chair of a planning board in a town that I'm in, which is why I'm asking these questions. Because normally when we don't deal with the same environmental issues, but when there's an improvement of an existing nonconformity, it tends to be looked upon favorably. And I am just trying to determine whether or not this commission and under these rules takes that into consideration or not, because it sounds like perhaps you don't.
The distance is 4 feet further, is that right?
Correct.
So that's not a whole lot. And what our bylaw says is, any activity within 50 feet of the bank of BVW is likely to alter the bank of BVW. No new activity or structure other than travel or removal of invasive species shall be allowed within the no disturbance zone. And we very much try to hold on to that, because especially by the bowl, everything just keeps getting chipped away and we lose more and more buffer at every hearing. And buffer really is important. It really does serve a purpose to protect the wetlands. So we do as best as we can try to stick to it.
I can appreciate that, given my own experience. So thank you very much for indulging me in my question. Thank you.
Of course.
All right.
I have a quick question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So Brent, kind of reading, I see that you're pulling it away from the buffer, but what is the total square footage now of impervious, and what's it going to?
Sure. So it's currently 97 square feet, and it would be going to 432 square feet.
So another.
We have an increase in square footage of structure within the 50-foot setback to the wetland, but we are providing a benefit by pulling the structure and the propane tank that are closer to the wetland further through this project.
But that's only for this garage area.
For the garage area, yes. And what we're part of why I wanted to have the discussion was understanding the language in the bylaw and understanding that what I do is somewhat of a gray area for the fact of you look at, again, minimum setback to the wetland versus the totality of the project and totality of things that could be done to mitigate with that here, and just trying to understand the commission's tolerance of that or acceptance of that before we go to a full notice of intent.
So looking on Google Earth, where is the buffer compared? Because the shed looks as far away from the lake that it could be on the property. So where are the wetlands there?
Along the north side property line, we've identified that there's a drainage channel there. There's a bordering vegetated wetland associated with that.
So next to 17, so facing the bowl to the right. Yeah.
Correct. That is correct.
Okay.
And unfortunately, it's not a straight line, and it gets very close to where that shed is currently.
So Brent, would you repeat and re-explain the 97 square feet versus the 400 square feet? What was that?
I'd be happy to. So we have an existing shed that, and its current closest location is 14.60 feet to the bordering vegetated wetland. Our proposal was seek to construct a 432 square foot garage / living space accessory.
So this is just the garage.
That is correct.
It's getting 4 times bigger.
Yes. And that would be built at least 5 feet further from the wetland, with a majority of the mass further from the wetland than the existing shed.
With living space upstairs, is that what you were kind of insinuating?
That is correct. So we're talking, the 432 square feet is the coverage, that's the footprint, but we will have some habitable space on the second story.
But it's 4 times bigger.
It's 4 times bigger.
19 feet.
Hey, Brett.
Yes.
We just keep saying the same thing.
I'm sorry.
Joe, please.
I'm sitting right here close to this and I'm having a hard time reading the plan. Possibly my eyes are not so great, but Is there any way when you come in, you could throw a little color on, where the buffer zone is, just so we could see it all in the lot lines, you know what I'm getting?
Sure. So we've got the zoning setbacks here, and what I can do,
So it's hard for us to,
I'll tell you, so the reason for this specific property, why I called out the specific dimensions, is my 50-foot setback lines actually overlap each other. I had a draftsman doing that, and unfortunately, this 50-foot as it comes into the property, and this 50-foot, it was very hard. So
you're locked in.
exactly, that's the conundrum that we have here. That's why.
So that should tell you something.
And I hear you saying that maybe you yielded to the most important wetland.
In this case, because we do not have, with the structures that we're looking to demolish and rebuild, we do not have an encroachment into the 50-foot setback of this wetland. Our proposal with a 4 times larger garage honors the 50-foot setback to this wetland that we're currently not encroaching within the 50-foot setback.
Yeah.
If we moved it closer to 50 feet from this, we could actually site it more over where there's a gravel parking area, and there'd be less of a net loss of buffer. But again, we were trying to respect the 50-foot in every area where we were not currently in non-compliance with it based on the existing structures.
It would definitely help if you had like the lot lines and stuff like that.
Well, here's the lot line, and here's the 35-foot zoning setback. Our 50-foot setback from this wetland is essentially the face of this garage. So this is the 50-foot line right here from this wetland. But this 50-foot line overlaps a lot of our zoning. That's why we didn't call that out specifically. But again, I can tell you, we're 29 feet from the wetland right here. We're 32, just under 33 feet here. And again, so we're building further away from where the house is closest to the wetland here. And again, but the meandering character of it here makes it challenging with existing rectangular structures where, again, it's kind of a moving target as that channel meanders down from the road towards Stockbridge.
The house itself, where is the 50-foot on each side? Do you have, I guess it would be.
They overlap. So this is 35 feet from the side property line, and this is 35 feet from the side property line. So the 50-foot is almost the center mass of the house.
Nowhere to go.
Correct.
See, we're having a hard time
Sometimes- I
seeing
mean,
that until you.
Sometimes you have nowhere to go and you have nowhere to go. That's just the reality.
This reminds me of the one at the bowl we were at the other day.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just doesn't, it's not going to fit.
Jeff Evans always used to say, just because it's a building lot doesn't mean it's buildable.
Oh, I've heard that before.
Yeah, but I mean, it's,
In this case here, it's an existing developed lot here. We're seeking to make improvements to, again, allow a family to have multiple generations continue to enjoy the property at the same time being respectful of the regulations and also understanding that no product is the same, no property is the same, and the opportunity to provide improvements to existing conditions is something the commission would look to see.
improvements is, what you might think is an improvement, I might not.
Yeah.
And lots of,
It's definite.
And part of what I'm hoping to get out of tonight, and I think we're getting there, is in terms of understanding of conversion of lawn to more native areas, not necessarily doing a full wetland replication, but even just the idea of planting more mature, this whole area right now, you look at the satellite, it's just open lawn. We'd be happy to plant much more mature trees to give them more.
again, I'm only one vote, and this is informal, and I think.
Sure.
We keep, I feel like we keep answering the same question. That doesn't,
Somebody else, go ahead.
that doesn't compensate for the loss of the buffer.
Chuck, you want
Well, yeah, I mean, as I'm looking at this, I was going to ask Brent, what is your swing for the fence? So you're talking about making the shed much larger with the combo garage and living space upstairs. I guess the garage would give you the opportunity to get rid of the turnaround in the driveway and so on. But what were you talking about the house? Is the house going up, or are you also looking to expand that footprint?
So the house.
I misunderstand that.
So we propose to provide a 125 square foot addition on the back side of the house away from Stockbridge Bowl with a limited, in this case here, the idea that there's limited changes that they want to make to the existing house based on the existing programming, that they'd have the ability to get more habitable space further away from the bowl via the garage structure. Ultimately, with depending on the feedback that we had tonight here, we'll determine, do we need to make the addition to the house larger in order to accommodate family's desire to have more habitable space on the property?
I'm sorry, may I just add one more thing? I think there's one thing, Brent, that you're leaving out that's kind of crucial. as it relates to the house, to the question that was just asked, it's underneath an existing overhang, meaning that
Oh.
that area is not going to be like an expansion of the house outward. It's just going to be an expansion basically downward. So I just want to clarify that point.
It already has a roof over it.
Correct. But it would be new foundation.
All right. Okay,
That'd be pretty-
Foundation or piers? I'm just asking out of curiosity.
it could be either.
It could be either, Chuck, he said.
All right, we presented your plans.
We have.
We're,
But this is our swing for the fence, Chuck, to answer your question more directly. This is everything that we would look to get out of this property here.
Right.
I don't see some of your expansion going anywhere.
Back to the drawing board.
Yeah. I'm iffy with the house, but if there's already a roof there, that's doable. Okay, that little 300-foot.
I'd go along with that, yeah.
The garage shed, whatever you want to call it. I don't know where you're gonna go with that. We're not in favor, I'll tell you right now, though, it's getting any larger in that location.
But there are 3 buildings, right?
No other location for the garage on the site?
That doesn't matter, Joe, they
I
don't,
know, they're both sides.
it's
We,
both sides cross.
we chose this location because we have an existing accessory structure already in that location. That's actually closer to the wetland. That's why we chose what we did where we did.
But there's a guest house also, correct?
Correct.
This is the classic pincer move.
Where's
Thank
the
you.
guest house? Is it leaning up against the main house? I just don't see it on Google
You
Earth.
need to
It's covered by trees, you won't see it, but it's right here on the plan, Chuck.
Okay.
So again, that's a raising of a structure that's pouring more concrete wall, but really zero land disturbance. So we're getting more habitable space there as well. I wish I had a wider lot.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Homeowners do too.
You need a lot stretcher. They don't have those though.
I see a cantilever.
Well, thank you all for your time this evening.
Okay.
Very much appreciate it.
I will look forward to your next.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Back
much.
in touch.
Thank you. All right, who else is here?
Well, we had a lengthy complaint from an abutter regarding the work at 11 Wheatley Drive, most of which had to do with hours of construction, length of time of the construction, and general irritation about the construction. But nothing specifically to do with what we permitted. So I'm thinking that it would be wise to have David go take another look at it, just to see if things are going along according to what we permitted.
Yeah,
Are there any other special permits involved in that?
Sorry. Well, I don't know. I mean,
Planning board give them a
the
permit?
problem that they're having is noise pollution, irritation about trucks coming and going, work being done at all times of the day and night. So they're just getting fed up with
Does the
it.
building inspector, excuse me, have like a start time? They must.
I
If you think so, yeah.
I copied Kate and Michael. So it's really in their ballpark, not
Why are
ours.
we doing anything?
But I think that maybe
we don't know what they're doing there, though. I mean,
we should go have David take a look at it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, drive by.
I mean,
Who knows what they're doing?
no problem with our,
Yeah, I don't
No.
think there is, but I think we should have David do a drive-by.
Is there a town ordinance about work hours?
has to
Are
be.
they working
not
outside
sure.
work hours?
I would imagine so, but I don't actually know.
Okay.
This was discussed today with the building inspector too. He was in that discussion.
Okay, well, that's
He
good.
didn't say anything.
They know about it.
Is there a site visit set for that or no?
No.
No. And then Nick Vallis, I don't know if he's here.
Yes, I thought I saw, yes.
Yes, here.
Okay. wanted to know about treating some hemlocks.
Hello there. My name is Nick Vallis. Thank you for addressing my question today. I'm with Bartlett Tree Experts, and I've been researching your bylaws, and I'm looking for a better understanding as to the requirements to apply pesticides within 200 feet of the wetlands. And to be more specific, application of a product at low volume to the direct trunk of hemlocks to help preserve hemlocks and the overstory that they provide. Again, in researching the bylaws, I was having trouble finding any reference to the application that I've described. What kind of direction and better understanding could you help me with?
Could you tell me the product?
Yes, the product is dinuteferon. The trade name is Transtect. So again, this product is applied at very low pressure out of a backpack directly to the trunk of a hemlock. So not applied within the soil. It's not an aerial application applied to the foliage, but again, directly to the trunk. The applicator is typically, a foot or so from the trunk, very low amount of pressure, very low amount of volume.
I think that's what they used at Ice Glen. I don't know if you would know.
Is this an injection or a spray that's applied?
Yeah, this is a topical application directly to the bark, so not injected either into the soil or directly into the vascular system of the tree. And to answer your question, I believe that was the product that was used at the Ice Glen project, although I was not part of that process, but I did hear about it, and I believe that it's a very common application procedure.
Can I just read what AI says about it?
Sure.
It's generally considered to have a low acute mammalian toxicity. While it is not highly toxic to humans in small incidental exposures, it is a pesticide that can cause adverse health effects if misused, mishandled, or ingested, and it does target insects.
How about close to the lake?
How often do you have to put that on?
Is this a one-time shot?
So it depends on the specific insect, right? So scale can return. This product can also be used for the destructive hemlock woolly adelgid. So it would be a case-by-case situation, but it may be needed up to once a year, again, depending on the specific pest.
What if it was woolly adelgid? Do you have to actually coat the surface with that stuff, like way up high in the tree?
That's an excellent question. That is a different application technique for a different product. This specific product is only...
They usually inject, don't they?
So there are alternative products that can be injected into the soil and systemically taken up through the canopy. This product is absorbed through the bark and works also systemically. For hemlock woolly adelgid, another very common application technique is the use of a foliar coverage, but that in many cases, especially near waterways, is not preferred, as it's much easier to have non-target drift, right? If you're applying up 10, 20, 30, 40 feet into the air, it's much easier for product to end up where you don't want it to be.
So what exactly are you trying to address? What pest are you trying to eliminate with this question?
Scale. The
Scale.
specific pest is scale. And again, I was struggling to see what type of notification or permission we would need from this commission to apply within that 200-foot zone.
Well, our rule of thumb is no pesticides, herbicides, or any of those things within 200 feet of the lake. We have allowed occasional use in very limited circumstances because we feel that the cumulative effects of everybody using the various chemicals around a sensitive site, like the lake or the river or wetlands or whatever. You know, the worst, one of the worst ever brownfields was an apple orchard that had been in place for over 100 years. And they sprayed the trees every year with an EPA or what is it? Not the EPA, the FTA approved chemical. And it accumulated and accumulated and accumulated until the place became entirely toxic. And that's why we're so adverse to having any kinds of herbicides or pesticides sprayed near a resource area. Of course, it's not that great anywhere else, but
How many trees are you talking about? How big an area?
Six hemlocks. So again, our goal is preservation of a native species. That's what we're looking for. We do understand the example you gave of repeated use to the orchard, and orchards often require 6, 8, 10. Sometimes the fruit that you've bought at a grocery store will have had 20 applications in a single year of different pesticides. This again, single use to preserve a native species within a year gives excellent protection. And
how close to the
How
lake
close
is
to
it?
the water? Or
within about 15 to 20 feet.
what is the
Again,
water?
Again,
low
this is
volume, we're
dino.
not treating up into the air. We would expect zero. We would expect in general zero.
Where is it?
This product is very, very low use. Excuse me, very low pressure.
This is the dinotefuran. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Yes.
So
Yep.
compared to the other one, the imidacloprid or whatever, it says that this is much better for what you want to do. But the little bit of reading I'm doing, I understand that AI is dangerous, saying do not let this get anywhere near water.
Yeah, that would be the same for any pesticide. If you were to use AI for any of that, pesticides they're just not a good mix with aquatic invertebrates in general. And again, this is a much preferred application technique
Right.
versus the foliar spraying up into the air
Right.
to do the coverage.
It's fast acting, but the drawback, it only lasts 1 to 2 years. It's really a shame compared.
Right. And I guess what I was
Easy.
hoping to have some direction is where in the bylaws I can research to have a better understanding. Could you point that out to me so I can get a deeper understanding?
It's actually, I have not been able to find pesticides in our bylaw, which surprised me.
We don't have,
it's in the,
It's
we
in,
generally don't have a lot of expertise. Ron is licensed,
Used to be.
used to be, yeah.
yeah.
But
I'm sorry, go ahead.
where is this located? The property?
This is located at,
Beechwood.
The reservoir?
sorry about that here, 38 Lake Drive.
So on a outfall, okay,
Yeah.
channel.
Chuck?
Yeah, that's yeah, I think that could have been the one we were looking at, Ron, that you and I looked at for the tree that came down. It looks like, so what about, it's saying that the small holes and ejecting it right into the trees are much safer than spraying it. What are your thoughts on that, sir? And obviously
Yeah, we prefer not to introduce injuries into trees whenever possible. That is an accepted practice in the industry, and it's very required for a specific type of applications. But anytime we can avoid injuring a tree, we would prefer not to do that. And this bark penetrant process is a very proven application. And again, I'm looking to have a better understanding moving forward as we will get requests like this periodically, and we would like to preserve the native species. So again, I was looking into your bylaws. I couldn't find the reference of pesticide application. So looking what to do moving forward when we have these requests.
So my comment, a couple comments. One, I really appreciate you asking us, because a lot of people just apply chemicals and don't tell us. So I appreciate you bringing it to us. I am almost positive the application at Ice Glen was by injection. And it was very effective. It really did save a lot of the trees. And from me, just speaking for myself, if you're talking about 6 hemlocks, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's worth,
Can you,
trying to save those trees.
Who's gonna do
As long
that?
as it's the property we
Application,
looked at.
bring them
Hmm?
in. Whoever does, gonna be doing the application, they should come in and
That's him.
And I would like to be clear here. This is in reference to what we'd like, what I want to know for us to do moving forward. The application on this 38 Lake Drive, we have performed, and then it was brought to my attention that we should seek a conversation with the Conservation Commission. That's why I'm here now. I want to do the right thing. And again,
So,
in
done?
researching
already
the
done.
bylaws, I cannot find anything referencing pesticide use. So I would like to know what the right thing to do is here.
So it's already been done, as you're saying.
That application with the bark penetrant has been performed, correct?
Okay. I have looked in our bylaws and in this bylaw, I could not find,
I saw it today.
you saw it today. Okay. See if we
Landowners shall not use applications of fertilizers containing alpha nitrogen.
fertilizers, yeah. See pesticides, which surprised me.
It did not reference pesticides anywhere that I could find, but you're the experts here, and I'm looking for that guidance.
It is, if they have an order of conditions for some reason, for some project that they've done, it is in their order of conditions that they may not use pesticides, herbicides within 200 feet of the lake.
Right, I believe that's the only control we have, right, Sally? There's nothing other than that, other than us putting it in when we do an order of conditions, correct?
That's what we put in the order of conditions.
Yeah, right. But
Could you help me understand the order of conditions a little
If
deeper?
they've done, if these folks have done work and on their property and they've applied for a notice of intent and have received an order of conditions for the work that they have asked to do, the order of conditions will say that they may not use herbicides or pesticides within 200 feet.
Gotcha. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for that explanation. I appreciate it.
Back to your tree. Since it's already done, I have questions on if it's on the tree and it's absorbed, so I'm sure that it has to dry at some point, right?
It absorbs through the bark immediately, but yes, the bark will be wet for, depending on weather conditions, 15 minutes to an hour. It's not applied in the rain. That's not a proper application procedure.
What's your time span between application and rain? I mean, if you put it on today and you think it's going to rain tomorrow, do you have enough time for it to dry and stabilize, or?
It would technically dry because, again, the product is extremely dilute. It's mixed in water to start, and then it moves through the bark. But we simply just don't do that type of application in the rain, but it would still be 100% effective.
I realized you wouldn't do it in the rain. So I have seen stuff get sprayed in the rain, but my concern is how long is the toxicity of this stuff? I mean, does it fade away in 24 hours? Or what isn't absorbed is still on the bark?
That's an excellent question, a very scientifically minded question. I couldn't tell you how much it remains on the bark, say the next day, but typically we give our clients the guidance to not touch the tree until the bark has dried. So under a normal spring to summer day, that's going to be within a half hour, typically under non-rain-like conditions.
for that to move through the bark, you'd have to really soak it, wouldn't you?
No, there's part of the product has what's called a bark penetrant. So it helps it to move through the bark. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, a very, very common practice.
it looks like the issue with it is it lasts 1 to 2 years, which is kind of short. It's very water soluble, 65 times more water soluble than the other stuff that just doesn't work as well for what he's looking to do with the scale. And it doesn't kill the fish, but it can disrupt the microscopic insects that, the bottom of the food chain.
Yeah, and if
But
we were applying this product up in the air, it's a different story. But
Right.
again, the applicator is typically touching the trunk when they're making this application. So there's it's nearly impossible to have off-site drift with this type of application.
I happened to be in Canada today, and on the Canada, the way it popped up here on AI, it just says, do not use near irrigation or drinking water. Other than that, they let you go to town with it.
How far up the tree do you apply this stuff?
It's typically chest level. So we're not applying it way up into the air. We don't need to because of the method that this product works. It goes through the bark, gets into that small layer directly beneath the bark, and then works its way up the tree. So we don't need to apply high. It's typically around chest level.
Here's my thought, and this may sound different, but if you put something on the tree up to 4 or 5 foot, and it sits and it's absorbed within 24 hours, wouldn't it be prudent, and this is just a thought, to wrap that tree with something for, let's say, 48 hours, 2 days, a week, and then uncover it? And so what is there has absolutely enough time to be completely absorbed or dissipate or whatever without it moving, without being washed off the tree.
The water solubility works both ways. The rain would extract some of it.
If you can guarantee that it's not going to rain on it in a week or so,
I think he's got a good idea.
Or use the injection, I would say, going forward.
well, they would do a different
The injection
chemical.
is what we did. No,
No.
you can inject this.
Can you?
Yes, you can inject this. But that is
There are different application techniques, right? We always follow the label. The label does not specifically recommend the wrapping that you're describing for whatever reason. But yes, that could be an option. But again, the product, because it's so water soluble, it moves through that bark and into the tree and gets up to the scale in a fairly quick fashion. That's one of the reasons it's a preferred product, because it does move. We'd only be treating trees that have been diagnosed with the scale. This is not a preventative treatment, as was described earlier in the orchard applications. This is a curative property to treat an existing insect infestation. We're not doing it on trees that would not have the insect infestations.
And you only have licensed applicators apply the stuff?
That's it. It's the label is the law, right? You have to, at Bartlett Tree Experts, we really pride ourselves in educating our applicators, and it's something that we put a lot of time into.
Well, it's done and done, and it's there. We thank you for coming in front of us.
Yeah, much appreciated.
Yeah, again, we want to do the right thing, and I want to make sure moving forward, if we need to come to this commission to seek permission for specific applications, that we're doing that. And I want to follow your bylaws.
If it's within the 200 feet, we'd appreciate it that you inform us at least before the applications occur.
And consider injection, because I do think
The meeting
injection
before.
is better for
Yeah, well,
wetlands
whenever.
than the spray around the tree. I think.
Part of the reasoning of that is not only for our benefit, but if the neighbors say, oh, they're spraying something 10 feet from the lake, now we start catching questions that we know no answers for. And
Understood.
that puts us in a spot.
Yeah.
So if you share with us, then if we have issues with neighbors or whoever, the public, we can
Right.
reassure them that,
So this chemical is a neonicotinoid, which is especially bad for pollinators and other critters.
It can be, but remember, so hemlocks are not bee pollinated, they're wind pollinated. And this product, because it's soluble, dissipates pretty quickly. It's one of our preferences to use it over the imidacloprid product, which is another injectable. That product stays in trees it's been found in hemlocks
7
for
years.
7 or more years. So this
It works
product
fast,
comes
too.
and goes pretty quickly, very quickly. That's one of the reasons we like it.
And that's, according to this, it's prohibited from sale in New Jersey and Vermont.
Yeah, all states kind of have their own preferences and different products.
So the other advantage to the injection is that it lasts probably twice as long as the spray is what they're saying. But as
Yep.
you said, sir, the drawback is that it causes a lot of, wounds on the tree.
I don't know. My experience at Ice Glen was that it was very effective in the trees. For trees that were about to die, it didn't work. They died. But for trees that were slightly or moderately affected, it really saved them. And they came back beautifully. So I would say consider the injection around the lake.
Absolutely.
And what type of tree is this, sir?
Case by case.
Hemlock.
Situation,
Yep.
it's
it's a very fine line
case by
to see
case, yeah.
what's going to make and what doesn't.
I wonder if we should add that to our tree form,
Add what?
the use of an insecticide, if there's scale
Chemical
or woolly
treatment.
adelgid. That would be a form that people could fill out or should fill out.
Okay,
Chuck, there's another injection method where they actually inject into the soil around it, I think.
That is another application technique. Again, we prefer this trunk application as it is a water soluble product, and if applied within the soil, then there's a potential for it to move, not within the root system. And that's why, again, I would strongly, as a licensed arborist, recommend the trunk application.
Yeah, they're saying don't use the soil application anywhere near water.
Right.
okay, Eric, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Did
Thank
we
you
answer
for
your
your time. I
questions?
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care.
We made it through Informa.
Yes, finally. How about, let me put my glasses on so I can actually see.
So Chauncey Collins, we haven't heard anything from them, but Mike is here for Maureen Montleone.
Come on up, Mike.
They received their okay from Natural Heritage.
Not natural heritage I'm worried about.
You worried about that?
Yeah.
Anybody?
You have to put, no, not anybody in particular. Everybody in particular. Yeah. Oh. No.
I don't like it already.
Just give me 30 seconds. Let's think what I got.
Okay,
What don't you like? Existing
the
house,
barrier.
32 late, oh, we can deal with that. Yeah, whatever.
There's in or what?
No, so,
Hey, watch out for that rock drawing on that wall, Mike.
I know, just bear with me.
Okay,
32 late drive. You're ready. Nothing,
couple more little septic repair, then there's an existing house. There's an existing modest house and there's a kind of a large garage and there's a shed. And right now there's a dock that we need to get a permit for through DEP. So that's kind of in the works too.
Chapter 91.
Yeah. Yeah, that's submitted work.
Probably need to get one from us.
We need one from you, yeah. Yep. We need one from you to get through that process too. So
Right.
trying to double off.
Less than 200 square feet, right?
Yes,
Yeah, of course.
maybe,
Has to be.
gotta be.
Non-negotiable. Just saying. It's a bylaw.
Oh, okay,
You can start your presentation anytime now.
all right. Any other shots? So, have you guys been out here? Have you been by at all?
I've probably a dozen times, but not.
So, everything from the house, up to the water is pretty much mowed, maintained lawn. There's a couple of trees there.
No, there's another point.
What they've asked for is to vegetate, and I call it the bank, but it's not the bank, it's the embankment. It's just that sloping area that runs down to the edge of the lake. Yeah. Right. Right now that's grass right down to the water. They've asked to be able to vegetate that with something more native. And they've also asked for this,
Has to be native.
it has to be native,
Just saying.
it'll be native.
Just saying.
So they requested this little, what Ron calls a barrier.
How,
It's a barrier.
what's the dimensions of it? How long is it and how high is it?
2 feet wide, 2 feet tall, and it's
This barrier.
a mile and a half long.
It's a rock wall, right?
It's a rock wall, yeah. How long is it? You really want to know how long? It's 90 feet long,
Yeah, I mean, that's barrier.
93 feet long.
That's the length of the lot at the waterfront.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, it's just shy of the lot is 100 feet. Okay, let's keep moving.
So, no, okay.
No barrier.
Yeah, buffer zones are considered important, blah, blah, blah. No barrier. Example.
They want to put
Fence
some,
obstacle that reaches the ground should be erected that limits the movement of small animals, reptiles, or amphibians.
they want to put some openings in it. We can work with it.
Some big openings.
Yeah.
I said, this is no barrier.
Yeah, well, it's a barrier now.
How many- Yeah, like,
It's also, I mean, it's not just us, it's the wetlands
I
protection.
know, yeah, I know, I understand. I wasn't expecting a loving open arms acceptance of this.
Okay.
I mean, you could build little doorways for,
Or breaks, but a lot of breaks. I mean,
Yeah.
that's 90 feet.
It's 90 feet, yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
that's
nothing. So what if it were broken up? Like if it were broken up into, I don't know, and I'm into 4-foot sections and they did something between with timber, like,
Maybe.
Like a post fence, like a.
yeah,
fence
like a post with,
built into the wall or something.
yeah, so maybe it looks like,
Mike, can I have a minute?
yeah,
Just some rails
yeah.
that look like you could take them out if you wanted an 8-foot wide thing to bring a boat or a 5-foot.
I don't think they don't want, they have a dock, they'll have a dock anyway.
So
They don't
there's
need,
an opening there.
they would have, I think they could put like the stone, maybe there's some
There's
stone.
one on
abutment.
Holmes Road like that, I think.
Broken
Yeah.
up.
Part of the,
Or they have
All
a
of-
split rail, they'd have
like
like,
a combination. I
Or
think
rough-
it might be 4x4s or something like that.
so maybe some, whatever, 4-foot chunks and
Yeah,
4-foot chunks with
But-
8-foot
but
open.
it's off the ground. So, I mean, it's not a
Yeah,
vertical.
the whole thing is off the, yeah, but
You know,
if this, I guess if this were 4-foot chunks of block of stone with an 8-foot opening and
Yeah.
then maybe some version like that,
Something like that.
maybe.
The artistic is.
So,
1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, 5 openings.
It's in the buffer zone.
Yeah.
How do we deal with that?
Well,
it's
you're
not
gonna
a-
do plantings.
Yeah, that's not, I don't, I
We'll
mean,
give
it's
it-
not,
It's like, it would be native natural stone.
yeah.
Right now, it's mowed lawn,
It's mowed lawn, yeah,
so we're doing the,
And how far away from the
from the lake.
Yeah.
lake?
there's your,
Like, you know how far, it's like inches. So it's maybe 8 feet. 8 feet is the closest I see.
And the improvement is they're gonna do all these native plantings in front of it.
They would, yeah, all roughly 8 foot by 90 feet would all get,
How far is it from the,
12, Mike.
how far is it from the lake to the house?
the lake to the house, so the closest to, this is 10 scale, right? 28 feet.
oh, down here,
It's an existing house.
Yeah, that corner right there,
this has got a 34.
What is this?
that's inches, that's a little, so I didn't get to that yet. I'm just getting there.
Working his way up.
One thing at a time, I'm working up to the spicier stuff as we go.
So this is the existing,
That's the existing house, and
and what are these?
those are existing trees.
Okay.
There's call it a birch, I think it's a maple.
But it's a tree.
That's a tree. So those are existing trees we're not doing anything with or to, or,
Is that the practice, pretty much the location of them on,
yeah, we shot them all, so they're mapped out.
but this wasn't tied in with those. That would leave you an opening here,
I'll leave an opening there
yeah,
and vegetate more of that.
yeah.
I'm not so keen on this 8 feet thing.
The dock,
No,
The wall.
The wall.
oh,
Why do they want it so close?
You know. You know why? Because everybody wants more. They were just kind of following the property line with that landscape was gonna follow the property line. That was the idea.
I mean, theoretically, according to the zoning bylaw, they have to have a 35 vegetated buffer all along the lake.
which they don't even have.
So if it's 8 feet,
That would come through the living room.
Vegetated, yeah, oh,
well, yeah, I mean, that ends up, we end up with having to make compromises about that, but still, that's the zoning bylaw is the 35-foot buffer from the lake. So 8 feet,
That's a planning
that close,
issue, isn't it?
it is, but still, we've respected the planning board.
But we don't have to enforce it.
We don't have to enforce it, no, but I think the spirit of the law is something that we should,
And we do like.
Doesn't work here.
That's what,
I get that it doesn't work there,
And so let them play with it, you know?
but something more than 8 feet, you're saying?
but yeah, exactly.
Okay,
something more than 8 feet with breaks.
and if it's a break, like Ron said, maybe we kind of work those 2 trees in, so it, maybe,
Yeah.
So critters, we want the little critters.
Yeah,
I can give you another suggestion, Mike.
break up the wall.
You want just ideas?
Yeah,
I mean,
happy to have
instead
ideas.
of the whole straight, you could sort of jog it a few ways to get through. It would be
Gotta make it not,
way more in some places,
yeah,
tighter in others, you know?
make it not as,
idea.
I think it would visually,
a little more, a little less engineer-like.
natural, a little more natural.
Yep. Okay,
And more vegetation in front of it.
I hear you.
Okay.
I feel your pain.
Now what are you doing up by the house?
So the house, right now, these are 2 separate structures. That's the house and this is, so this dark L shape is new.
And what is it?
So they want to connect these 2. That's the house.
Oh, they want to connect the 2 houses.
They want to connect the 2. One's not, this isn't a house, it's a garage, but they want to make it into a house or part of the house.
So is that a walkway or
That's a,
a roofed
that'll be
structure?
structure, that'll be attachment. They'll kind of build them right together, so that would become
And so what's the loss of buffer?
part of the structure. So the 50-foot, the 50-foot line is right here.
Okay.
Where's that?
50 foot is,
Yeah, I found it.
That's it? Okay, the red line. Got it.
Line or whatever
So
color that
this would
is.
be new, this would be loss of buffer right there?
so this is buffer, yep. That's buffer. This shed is,
That's new up here.
the shed is gonna go,
Yep.
That's new?
that's there, that's gonna get removed.
Okay.
And trade for this little deal there.
That shed gets removed, and that shed,
Here.
it goes. That goes.
What are
What are
those?
those?
So this is
Those
out.
are
Existing stone rubble.
Stone structures that are sort of built onto the edge of the lake. That would go. And that would go in exchange for that.
What was,
I think we need a site visit.
Yep, I think you do.
And calculation?
this is out.
That's out, and then these two are out.
And
Oh, okay.
if we do a site visit, can you give us calculations of what,
Yep.
what's gaining in?
Yeah, I
buffer?
think I have, yeah, we have them. We did them. They're somewhere here in this,
Could you
but
find-
we can go over them. Can I, yeah, so, yeah. This is 100 square feet. I think this is. Oh, the dock is 144 square feet, Sally.
Good. Again, it's a vinyl.
Yeah.
Not out.
No, I'm with you. So the stone, these are 20, the stone remnants were, there's 28 square feet of that. The shed was 100 square feet. And the additional, that kind of new chunk of building is something less.
Yeah, it looks, I mean, it looks less than what they're taking out.
Well, I guess it probably looks like it's about 3 feet wide.
So that's 25 square feet. This is 25 square feet and the takeaway was 100 and whatever that was, 128.
Okay.
So somewhere in there,
So it's a gain. But we're losing what gets lost with the stone wall.
right,
Yeah,
yeah, but it's,
throw that into it.
yeah, so, okay.
If you're putting the 8-foot,
If we're gonna just
Bits.
make that into chunks,
you're not losing
or
nearly as
6-foot
much.
chunks with an opening,
Yeah, but do the whole calculation.
yeah. Okay. Those are the
Site visit.
major pieces, okay.
Yeah.
With the rain Thursday afternoon.
Too soon. We have to advertise now. So I'm away. Tomorrow night till Saturday. Lisa's a new grandmother, so.
Oh, congratulations. That's fun.
That's why I keep leaving.
Oh,
great.
That's good fun.
Monday,
What day is that? What-
Monday,
30th, 29th.
29th, yep.
I'm okay.
Is the dock in, Mike?
It is.
So that's a fixed dimension.
Yep, it's like a known entity.
So,
Yeah, it gets
29th.
complicated next week with 29th site visit, 29th.
what you?
So, yep, fine.
3 o'clock,
3:15,
3:15?
is that all right? 3:15, Chuck?
Yeah, I can stagger next door at 3:15.
I'll be there one way or another.
32 Lake Drive. Thursday?
That's
Monday.
Monday, right.
Wasn't that bad.
Yet.
You knew.
I know better. I know better, so.
So can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
I know you guys do what the owners want you to do. Do you ever say this is gonna apply?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, this is a friend of my wife's. And I said, I'm not doing this one. I'm not going.
And here you are.
Well, she says she can't go to meetings anymore, but yeah. Planning board.
Yeah, it's always,
You have that if you want, Sally.
okay, when you're drawing, we were drawing.
Bill, let me know when you're done.
And it almost,
Over.
almost done.
Send it over.
Okay, start here, yeah. He's going to,
Where's the grandchild?
you got it?
Main,
Oh, wow.
okay.
Fun stuff. Congratulations.
Fun stuff.
4 or 5 hour drive.
Oh,
You don't want to do it on Friday or Monday.
no.
What do you think, Mike? Then
Question.
maybe just wood in here,
Fourth of July.
these two wings.
Yeah.
All right, and this is this is all,
Rattlesnake Mountain Road over,
Robin?
so let's just keep this the
come
same.
forward.
And just a big note here, okay?
Yeah.
Um,
I'm leaving.
Shut that off.
I'll float her by her, Joe.
Thank you.
What? You're good. Here. So I say wood fencing, some
Whoops.
gates and stuff,
It's like a mouse trap.
but open, you know.
Taking that.
You got it?
Thank you. Send me your bill.
Excuse, but I did purchase.
Something will fly. All right.
Okay. You all know where it is.
Noisy one at that.
Yes. And my name is Susanna Souza. I'm with GZA.
Okay,
I'm here with Robin Tessie as well.
Robin.
GZA. And yeah, we opened the hearing at the last meeting, but if you'd like, I can go through and kind of summarize the project again.
okay, yeah.
We had a peer review by our consultant,
Yes.
and you got a copy of that.
Yes, we saw the,
We also had comments from DEP. Correct. Which you would have gotten.
yes.
Okay, so fine.
Yeah, so yeah, we all know where this
So
is.
where's the bridge start?
So this is Rattlesnake Mountain Road here. And this is the proposed culvert. Yeah, this is a culvert replacement project. So this 9.9 foot culvert will replace the existing degraded and undersized 24-inch culvert. The proposed work includes roadway improvements, which includes regrading and widening of the roadway by about 1 foot on each side. So that doesn't include widening of the travel lanes. It's just widening of the shoulder to accommodate the guardrails, which are required safety element for the road.
DEP had some comments about that. You have those? Mm-hmm. Somewhere.
Sally, I
I know David
David had a comment about the guardrails.
Yeah. We have David's comments and we have DEP's comments.
So David's comments was about the guardrails where they don't currently exist. We suggest the applicants provide additional clarification regarding the proposed road widening in order to justify the proposed BVW fill.
Yeah, so that is essentially it. It's not the travel lanes that are widening, it's just the shoulder, about 1 foot on each side for the guardrails, which are required, just a safety requirement for the road.
typically for a road this size, it would be a 2 foot shoulder. It may grow in over time, but when it was built,
It's widening by 1 foot, so yeah,
widening, so you start with one and so you widen,
Yes, it'd be
widen to
about
2.
1 foot wider on each side. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure what the existing shoulder width is, but it would be 1 foot plus that.
And the guardrails, if I can just, jump in real quick, they're needed for safety because the grade of the road is increasing just slightly for the increased culvert size. So the elevation of the road is increasing, and that's why the guardrails are used.
There's a big honking hump at the top of the hill. I don't have guardrails for that. Sorry. The guardrail thing is a real problem for me. I think aesthetically and for every other reason, it's awful.
But is it required for safety?
It's a safety requirement.
It's a stream crossing.
It's awful.
Okay.
So do you have the ability to instead of using metal ones, to do like the heavy duty wood like that you would see next to a park or a state park? Does it need to be the metal heavy duty ones?
There's probably a cost issue. I mean, it's certainly something we could, I don't know, the cost of metal.
Nobody's ever fallen off the road into the swamp.
It's something
I think
that.
Sally's going to push somebody off the road if you guys move forward.
I could arrange for the guardrail to go bye-bye.
I should have killed her. I
So
apologize.
are there options with the guardrails we're asking?
Yeah, I'm
You
not,
can come back and
Yeah.
some other time.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
about that, 'cause, yeah, I'm not sure what.
I mean, it's an absolutely beautiful dirt road in the middle of an ACEC, and you're going to put guardrails up. It's going to be awful.
So let's find out if it's a requirement.
It is a requirement.
It is a requirement.
Yeah, it's 100% a requirement. I'm just not sure how much variation of what kinds of guardrails would satisfy that requirement, other than what we proposed.
So here. This is,
And what about David's comment number 6? It says the commission should consider a special condition that requires a submittal for any proposed rewatering changes that must be reviewed and approved prior to construction.
Yeah, so that would be at the discretion of the commission, but I can go over the dewatering if you.
Yeah, please.
So during construction, we're proposing a temporary dewatering of the work area so that work can be conducted in safe and dry conditions. So there would be a temporary off dam.
I understand.
Yeah, upstream and downstream. Water within the work area would be pumped out to filtered through a dewatering bag and allowed to infiltrate on the road or next to the road into an upland area. And then upstream flows would be routed around the work area using a bypass pump system to downstream to maintain downstream flow during construction. And then once construction is complete, the system would be removed and the flow would be restored through the brook.
Now, I asked this before, but will there be tree removal?
Yes, there will be the removal of about 8 trees on the south side of the road.
Will there be any replanting?
Yes.
There will be the embankment, the trees are removed for the embankment and for access to the embankment. So these areas that are disturbed will be seeded. The embankment is riprap, but it will be filled in and covered with soil. And then that will be seeded with a wildlife conservation mix. So this will be vegetated slope, but there will be riprap beneath it. And then there are plantings proposed in the wetland replication area.
is there a head wall or something like that?
Nope, it's just a riprap embankment along the side of the road, to provide stability for the road.
So our bylaw requires tree replacement for any trees that you take down. So we would want to see.
It's also in their conservation restriction that no trees are to be removed. Just as an FYI.
Sally, could I make a note on that point?
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm glad this came up and I'm glad you brought it up. We had a discussion with folks from the Nature Conservancy about that, and we reviewed the terms of the CR with them, and I'm happy to pass along that communication to the commission. But what representatives from TNC determined was that there is language in the CR that permits, and I can just read this here. Shall not constitute a violation hereof, nor shall the erection and maintenance of fences or the maintenance of presently existing structures or improvements. So they felt comfortable that the language in the CR allowed for the impacts that are being proposed here, given that it's an effort to improve a structure that is essentially, overlapping onto the boundary of the Chazelle tract and the CR. So I can pass that communication to you folks, but TNC did want to hear from the commission as well, since you folks are the ones responsible for essentially making sure the terms of the CR are respected here.
Thank you. And just to repeat, our wetland, I'm looking for it in here, but our wetlands bylaw is very clear that if you take a tree, you need to replace it. So we would want replacement for those and a guarantee that they survive. So make sure that's in the order of conditions.
1-to-1.
I don't know. What do you think?
How much area is to serve? There's 8 trees that are of size there now, they're gonna be taken out. 6 feet, another one's in there, 1-to-1 at least.
And it's going to change the temperature of the stream on the south side as well if you take out the trees.
Joe said he would take a look and give a recommendation.
Yeah, and there is existing tree cover, around in this area, and the trees being removed are within like 20 feet or less of the road right of way. So there is an existing opening there. So we weren't anticipating that the removal of those 8 trees would substantially impact shading.
Do you know what they are?
A hemlock.
Yeah, there were 3 or 4 hemlocks in there.
A hemlock, 3 maples, and an oak, 2 oaks.
Don't plant more hemlock. That's what I would say.
Hey, real quick, I just called my old roommate who's an iron worker and builds bridges and so on. He says that the wooden guardrails depend on 2 things. It depends on the average speed. So it seems that the speed could be okay because it's kind of a slow road there. He says the cost of entry for the wooden is much lower than the steel, but it's a biannual maintenance with staining and so on. So
It's 25 miles an hour.
yes. So
25
I think,
miles an hour.
yeah, I think you'd be okay there. It's not, it's not a highway.
We don't want them painted.
Well, it's stained. You have to stain them. You have to do something with them. You have to do something to seal them every 2 years.
Probably gonna be pressure treated,
What?
the guardrails, if they're wooden. You can't stain them, not the first year anyway.
But at some point, you have to start treating them eventually, or else they're going to rot out. Probably, I know creosote is not the right word, but something needs to be something for the product going into the ground.
The ones along 183 down by the turnpike, of course, they could have been there since the turnpike was built. They finally fell over, but. So how many years is that?
1950. 5.
They made 75 years.
Won't be our problem.
We're good with it.
Okay. Speak for yourself.
I'm not gonna see it.
Just one rail.
Yeah.
Sally.
Yeah, she don't want to.
So the question I had last time was about monetary replacement for the BBW being lost. Do you have a figure for how much BBW?
Well, we don't have a figure. We did want to pose a question back, as this is a town project, so would it be a matter of the town paying the town? That was one question we had. And the other is that well, the in lieu fee is an option under the bylaw, under the Wetland Protection Act, we're still required to do the replication either way, so it wouldn't be, it wouldn't mean that we weren't doing the wetland.
Why are you required for replication?
For the loss of, the regrading of the embankment, under the Wetland Protection Act, we have to compensate, for the loss.
Compensation can be monetary, though.
Yeah.
And
Under-
sorry, folks, I did speak with Mike Canals about that. He's happy to have a conversation with the commission and try to see what that could look like, given that the town is the applicant of this project.
Okay, but what we really would need is square footage. We should know the square footage lost. Yeah.
The notice of intent. It's 677 square feet for the wetland. 677 and 621 added together. Those are the two separate impacts of the wetland.
Okay, so 1298 square feet, and is it?
Oh, I'm sorry. Those are our replacement numbers. The alteration, the loss is 651 and 621.
650.
My apologies.
621, so 1272 square foot loss. And it's BVW wooded? Is that what we call it?
It's wooded south of the road, and north of the road, it's that, the emergent.
Phragmites.
Fallow field?
Phragmites
Phragmites. We don't have a category.
and remnants of the beaver dam.
Okay, so we're looking at about $12,000, 12,000 something estimate, so. It's gonna pay the town. If we instead of replication, we asked for monetary for the loss of BVW. That would go into a fund. We created a compensatory mitigation.
Compensation.
Yeah, instead of doing a replication that would turn into phragmites.
Well, we would still need to do the replication in addition.
I'm not sure.
Protection Act.
Sure. I actually don't know if you did the money, if you would still have to do that.
It'd probably be better off if they did what they're gonna do, and then if we could plant them with our own people.
There's no point in trying to do mitigation on the north side of the road. None.
No,
Absolutely none. It would be a complete and utter waste of time because all it is Phragmites and it's all it's going to be. Unless somebody comes in and decides to do something about it.
One other point that might be helpful here, just wanted to note that this project has up to this point been 100% grant funded through Massachusetts Division of Ecological Restoration. So, this isn't like a privately funded project. So, again, this is going to have to be a discussion with Mike Canals and the town to try to, understand how a sort of like monetary arrangement could be arrived at.
So, and is all the money from the grant used up?
By the end of this month, correct?
Okay, that's good to know. So there may be no money to give. So, but it's a serious question. If mitigation in Phragmites isn't going to work, then what will? Because we hate to lose BVW.
no,
And
whatever you do, it's just gonna be overtaken eventually.
Right,
I mean, if we do it, they do it.
right.
If you plant grass, you got 2 years, basically, probably.
if it's helpful to emphasize too, just the overall purpose of the project is ecological restoration. In nature, as the goal is to remove the culvert that's been functioning as an aquatic barrier and the point of hydraulic constriction, which is anticipated to kind of outweigh maybe potential deviations in the boundary of the Phragmites marsh.
When do you think this project's gonna start?
The
This year?
the town has an application for construction funding in front of Division of Ecological Restoration right now. We probably won't hear about that till the end of the summer, something like that.
So we have some time to work this out. And were there other comments from Mark Stinson that we didn't address?
I got a comment.
David.
How much undersized was the 24-inch culvert?
Well, it's 24 inches and the bankful width under the stream crossing standards would require a culvert 10.2 feet, I think 10 and change. So
For the open bottom deal?
yeah, for the bankful width, of the culvert. And so what we're proposing is 9.9 feet.
This is better than what it could be, but let me point out that the only reason that the statistics tell you that it's undersized is because of the beaver dam. It was always a stream. It became a pond when the beavers dammed it up. It has never in my 76 years flooded over that road. So you could make a real case for it not being undersized, just saying.
It won't be after they do this, that's what.
One other point of clarification, Sally, I believe the calculations for bankful width were taken on the downstream side because you would get such a wacky figure by trying to calculate in the upland or the upstream wetland area. So I believe the bankful width was calculated measuring cross sections on the downstream side.
It was, yeah, thanks, Eric. And that's something that David commented on in his review as well, saying that he looked at stream stats and the bankful width in stream stats was about 10 feet. But our in-field measurements were 8.5. And so he said it's better to go with the 8.5.
Anything else from Mark?
Well, they're always less on the outfall.
Correct. When it's undersized like that, or as Sally said, if there's beaver activity, then you'll get that impoundment upstream.
Okay.
Any other comments from Mark, Sally?
Well, he said, first of all, we have to determine that it's a limited project, which David said he felt that was a reasonable determination. That the commission may consider obtaining additional information on project plan specifics, such as how ledge will be extracted in areas where a proposed pipe is to be installed. The materials and methods anticipated in constructing the temporary water control management, i.e. cofferdams, which you explained, whether the proposed roadside grading riprap can be reduced, and whether soil bioengineering opportunities are available as an alternative to all or a portion of the proposed riprap slope protection sections. Because dense populations of invasive Phragmites are present and or near the project site, managing its encroachment into the nearby proposed replacement areas should be discussed. The commission may reference the Massachusetts Inland Wetland Replacement Guidelines and consider a suggestion that wetland replacement plans should address potential for the introduction of invasive species into the replacement wetland and propose methods to prevent the establishment of undesirable species.
Do you want to talk to Michael about money? making the point that we just don't think replication is going to work.
Well, finished grade, soil. But as for plantings over there, maybe seed. And then we let nature take its course. Basically, we keep it mowed back as far as we can reach.
I'm asking that the town come up with some money. Because that is what we put in our bylaw.
All right, I'll
And
talk
there's
to
a, and there's a little chart.
there. You said maybe some available.
Yeah, but I think it's worth asking for, just because I don't think it's gonna work. I don't know. What
Are
do
you
you
gonna
think?
plant in the riprap? Excuse me. Is that the
It'd have to be at the bottom of the riprap, wherever it ends. I don't know. I don't know what the slope of the riprap's gonna be.
That's another question. Probably almost, between 1 and 1 to 1. 1 to 2. What's the slope on the riprap?
But while she's
You can
looking, just back to Eric, your point, we really do want tree replacement. So somehow that needs to come out of the grant money too. Those trees are coming down.
Especially on the downstream side.
They should put a plant.
And the upstream side is gonna be shaded by the Phragmites once they fill in.
Somebody should.
Agreed. And to Sally's point, we certainly want to make sure, we're maintaining that shade that helps to regulate stream temperature and, keep that stream cold and hospitable to our aquatic organisms. So that's very important to us.
I could see, if it weren't for the beavers, I'd say you could plant willow sticks on that upstream side, but you're just gonna feed the critters.
Well, they're not there anymore, but
We'll see.
they've pretty much eaten out everything they could eat.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna come back, but who knows?
Nothing eats Phragmites if it did.
No.
So, but here's a detail showing the riprap slope, but
Has there been a survey as to what's in there?
like it might be 2 to 1, but I'm not sure what is
Here, I
supposed to
got
be
some.
right
What
there.
aquatic critters are in there?
No.
To my knowledge, I'm not aware of any environmental data documenting, presence or absence of particular species in that area of the stream.
They put this on there.
Would be interesting to know.
Yeah, that's what I was
You just
wondering
ask
about,
them.
but I can check.
Behind your house? So it's all,
There's a pond out behind my
I
house.
thought there was, but
Yeah, or at least there's,
Section,
now it's mostly Phragmites.
go on through it, and then just a little.
They're snapping turtle, box turtles,
ducks and
Okay, we have lots about that.
It's page 21
lots of birds.
in our bylaw.
You can have that.
We've never used it,
So
and I think we should.
this is the riprap.
Yes. Sorry, it's so tiny.
I mean, I would have thought that if we were talking about replacing a stream crossing for habitat for critters, that we would know what kind of critters there were. Just saying.
Well, it would be the native wildlife using the area. Reptiles, amphibians, mammals.
Okay, thank you for your
Use-
patience waiting through the
Use
meeting.
2 to 1, yeah.
I'm good. Thank you.
So we're not, got your looking for money.
Yeah.
And let us know what the tree replacements.
Yeah, so why don't we just go over specifically everything that yeah.
So we'll come back with tree replacements.
Guardrails.
About the wooden guardrails. A discussion will have been had about the fee.
Give them a-
Hmm?
Can they get this online?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure they can.
It's it's in the bylaws on our website. Town website.
That's all I have on my list. Was there
I think
anything I'm
that's it.
missing?
No, I think that's it. Thank you.
Have a good evening. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you. All right.
The short hers. Wisconsin Railroad, anyone?
Tom Lewis is
Yes,
here.
I'm here. Good
Sorry.
evening.
Good evening.
As you mentioned, I'm Tom Lewis with Tech Associates here on behalf of the Houstonic Railroad. So just as a follow-up from the last meeting, we had our site visit last week. Chuck and I and the railroad, and we reviewed the markers that were out there and augmented them with some spray paint just to make it a little more visible. So we did that. So we reviewed all the boundaries in the field, and I guess we're back to talk about that.
What did you think, Chuck?
I think Tom and his associates don't even need the markers or the spray. They know the wetlands better than anything. They know exactly where they're spraying and where they're going. And it is what they we spoke a little bit about the ties, and the ones we did find right next to the tracks are quickly eroding away and to nothing and breaking up. And the real question will be in the next ideally we'll look at it when the leaves are down to see if we can find the larger piles that in my head I recall from the first time I did this a few years ago. I guess so. Clearly they're going to spray it. I guess the question is, what conversations were had with the railroad, and do they agree that if we find big piles or substantial amounts that they're willing to pull them out of there? I guess is the question, Tom. Did you have a chance to speak to them about that?
So I did. One thing I like to do is if I can share my screen, I took some photos while we were out there just of the couple of piles that we came across.
Right.
Do I have the ability to do that?
I don't think so, but maybe Sally can.
Maybe.
correct me.
We're working on it.
Okay.
We had some
There's
young
some,
kids photobomb us, Tom. That's what's happening here. So
That's
you're the
okay.
first guy I've ever seen them let do this.
there's some special way that I have to make it. So
Okay.
share a screen, and I'm not sure I know what it is.
Well, maybe I can just describe it. So just so everybody understands where we're at. It
Can
was
you
back.
can you send them to us, Tom?
I can send you what I have. Sure.
That'd be great.
So back, I want to say it was about 4 years ago when they did their heavy tie program, the state brought in the state's contractor. They replaced roughly 12,000 ties in the town of Stockbridge alone. There's about 2,000 ties a mile. Just to put that into perspective, it's probably equivalent to about 15 tractor trailer loads of ties. And part of the contract is to, before it's complete, to pick up all those ties and dispose of them at a regulated facility. The stuff that we found was more like measured in wheelbarrow loads. It's not, most of them are not even whole ties. They're just small pieces of ties that have been out there. Some of them are hiding in places. Some you can kind of see if you look under the brush and such. But I just want to put it into perspective. It's definitely not the 12,000 ties that they put in and got rid of. It's just small bits that, are the kind of thing you'd have to just pick up by hand because they're, only a couple of feet long.
So Tom, that's what we saw this time of year, kind of like what we did
Yeah.
3.5 years ago after the first run. But are they in agreement that if we make a run with the when the leaves are really gone, that if we find the piles or the amounts that I recall from 4 years ago, that they're willing to give it the college try to get rid of them?
Well, I think, the state went out there and the state did their review. And basically, the state said, as far as we're concerned, it's complete and it's picked up to our satisfaction. That's what the state said to us.
But the pickup, Tom, was, and it's, I don't mean to be combative, so correct me if I'm wrong. The pickup was they picked up everything which they had pulled out, but what they didn't address, or what was not in that contract, or was, and I believe I'm putting words in your mouth here, so correct me if I'm wrong, was the stuff that could have been 20, 30 years old, the big piles, which
They
I
did
recall.
pick up stuff over and above what they replaced. They did it to the best they could. They're using pieces of equipment that have large grapples on them, and
Right.
they only have the ability to pick up stuff that's so small. I mean, when it gets to be really small, it just falls through the grapple because
But the,
the pieces are that small.
I understand, but do they agree that if we find substantial amounts that are older, that they're willing to try to get rid of them? It
I
looks like
would
I'm
I would like
painting
to say
your
yes,
words.
but
I
the
don't
thing is,
understand.
I'm not in a position to make that agreement because I'm just here to permit their
Okay.
vegetation management. You understand? I can't go out and say that, yeah, they'll agree to do that, because I could get fired.
Well, at the very least, can we agree that next year, before the leaves pop, that we can make another run?
Um, Again, that would have to be something they would agree to do because I can't agree to let people out on the tracks. I'm not an employee. I mean, I'm not in a position to offer that, is what I'm saying.
So last time we had this, before you and I met and before we went on the tracks, we kind of had this conversation where I said, here's what we're kind of looking to do. So when you had that conversation with them, how was that received? What did they say? I assume you had that conversation. Look at
Well,
the
I told
Concom
them
leaves,
that
there's big
the issue
piles
had
of
been brought
30 years
up.
old. Go ahead.
I told them that the issue had been brought up,
Yeah.
and they basically said, as far as the state's concerned, that project is complete and closed out.
Okay. So they're kind of washing their hands of it, despite what we were all
The,
hoping
the,
that they
the
would do.
state and the railroad. I mean, the state really is in charge of all that. They own the tracks and they're doing the capital improvements to the tracks. That's why, the state's out there every day with their inspectors, and it's all going through Boston. I'd like to tell you I could go out there and pick it up because I think
No,
most of
that's
it's
what we're
small
asking.
enough. Most
We're
of it's
asking
small
what
enough that it's something you do with a shovel and not even with a big piece of equipment.
we're
But
trying
I'm
with that
not in a
little piece of
position to do
leverage to
that.
get. We're trying with that little piece of leverage to get it picked up if there are big piles, as I recall.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could try down with it.
I just know from my perspective, I haven't seen any big piles. Everything was very small.
Well, this
You know,
yeah, with the leaves out. But have we made the run with the leaves gone?
I can't recall the last time I was there with leaves down. It's been 3 or 4 years. It was probably before the tie job the last time I was there with the leaves down.
When is the next time we have to do this run on the tracks where someone from the Concom and you makes the run and says where we're going to mark the
As
track?
far as this application
Yeah.
goes, I
So
mean,
is it every 2 years you
we
do
have to
this?
do this every 5 years.
Oh, it's 5 years ago we did this almost?
It's 5 years, right? Because the life of the VMP is 5 years, and so all the RDAs expire with the VMP.
Sally and Ron, are we allowed to give them a 1 year or 2 year and saying next time we do the tracks, we have to do it with the leaves down? Or am I grasping at straws?
I think you're probably grasping at straws.
I
When
don't
it
see how
comes,
we have any control.
when it comes to rights of way, for the most part, we have nothing to say. We just have to be thrilled that they're going to be spraying stuff within 10 feet of the resource area.
Joe?
Can we put it in the notes that the next time we do this in 5 years from now, it has to be before the leaves pop? I don't know what else to do.
Well, probably there's nothing we can do.
Well, why don't we put it in the note and let somebody else tell us that we can't do it? Just,
I have a suggestion. I mean, I know it's not a definitive answer, but have you tried just writing MassDOT?
We have gone round and round until we are blue in the face.
Yeah.
I think I need to trespass next year, walk the tracks and take a bunch of pictures and do a map, I think is the only option.
You're gonna have to get permission.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend
Ron,
I
you give
didn't
me
hear
permission?
that.
Sally,
they
give me
have-
permission? I'll ask
they
my
have
wife.
to-
to do it.
They have to catch you first.
That's right.
They would.
how about a drone?
Well,
Pardon?
yeah,
A
drones.
Drone survey, yeah.
There you go. We can do that.
You keep it up 40 feet and train goes by, and you're still safe. Or
I'm
50.
gonna do my Sergeant Schultz impression and just pretend I don't know anything about that.
I know nothing. I see nothing.
Probably be a lot quicker too.
Sure, just run.
Probably be a lot safer too.
Yeah. And
Okay.
it would be a record then.
Yeah. We got somebody in town that'll do that for us for a fee, but that's all right. All right, where are we going here now?
We just might as well approve it.
Yeah, we're gonna approve it.
Chuck is okay with their boundaries.
Under duress, we'll approve it.
This is for this year, so it's gonna happen,
It's for their 5-year plan,
which,
their yearly operational plan, which they have to file for every 5 years.
so,
The YOP is an annual plan.
I'm sorry,
that you get every year. Yes,
DMP,
the
sorry.
VMP, right?
Could we hold the approval until the leaves are off the tree?
Well, they need to spray
No,
now.
because it's not what they're asking for,
Yeah, okay.
unfortunately. It would be nice, but we can't.
so, we'll make a motion. You can't make it.
I'm not making a motion. You actually can. I
You
just read
researched
something.
it?
Yeah.
I make a motion that we give them their approval. I'll second it.
I'll second it.
Hi, Sally.
Hi, Ron.
Hi, Joe.
Chuck.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for the option, Tom.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, so we promised Gary O'Brien that we would just close this tonight, that he didn't need to be here for
No.
the Austin rigs. So I make a motion that we close the hearing on the request for a determination of applicability for the Austin Rig Center to remove the
Part of tennis court.
part of the tennis courts that's within 50 feet of the stream.
I second it.
Hi, Sally.
Hi, Ron.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Chuck.
Has anybody noticed on the drive-by that there are a lot fewer cars parked in front of Austin Rigs during the day?
Oh, no, really?
Yeah.
They had a lot of room in the back.
Yeah, well, now they're using it.
Yeah.
Which is fabulous. I mean, I think it's, yeah, we have a couple other things we need to talk about. David has the draft letter for the pump house, which I thought was fine. If you see it,
No.
it's saying we need to reseed and
Oh,
the map that you've
yeah.
got down there. So we
Well, I don't know where that
should
was.
give him the go-ahead on that.
Yes.
Okay, so weed harvesting Stockbridge Bowl, as far as I know, we have not heard anything else.
The weed harvester is down there, but it hasn't
Yeah.
made it past yet.
The boat ramp watering, we're still, I wrote to George Willis, the contractor is supposed to be taking care of it. the town removed the trees that had fallen down, so that was good, but it took them unfortunately a lot longer than one would hope. But the contractor is supposed to be responsible for planting, for watering the plants that are there.
You know who did it last time?
Me,
The Moose was down there too.
I was down there with a bucket. Thank you very
He's
much.
down there, he's got a little electric pump that pumps water
Oh,
through a
good.
hose. Yeah.
But the contractor's supposed to be doing it. So if it's not getting done, we need to get in touch with George again. And there's something else. No, I think that was it. Got the thing from Brent. And the thing from David and DEP. And I think that's all. But now we need signatures because we don't have enough.
Do you want me to, I can be there, what's today? Tuesday. I can be there Thursday to sign if you need.
I got to get somebody in to sign tomorrow. So if there's anybody around, because I'm going out of town, I got to get this in the mail.
Lisa,
Sure, Lisa will come in.
is she gone now?
She's not leaving. She just has lots of phone calls and stuff. I'll ask her to come in tomorrow morning if she can. Maybe Karen can too. I don't know. Although Lisa's the one we need because she was here.
Yeah. So we're done?
Austin Riggs.
So that's really it, I think.
That's it. Make a
I'll
motion,
make a motion that we
adjourn. I'll second it.
Hi, Sally.
Hi, Ron.
Hi, Joe.
I trust.
Okay.
Have a good evening.